Hello, welcome to Overwhelming Odds. My name is Dan Hogue. I am the content creator for the website and also the founder of Overwhelming Odds, 40k.com. Today I'm going to be doing the raffle for a giveaway for the $40 Visa gift card. I'm really excited to see who's going to win. This is a thank you to all of the people who've supported the website and myself since the site's inception on December 19th, 2019. So in just 7 short weeks, the site has explosively grown. I've had tons of sponsorship opportunities, a lot of affiliate programs and marketing and partners that have helped bring exposure to the website, which I am super thankful for. So for each and every one of you, 40K Today on Twitter, Gav Thorpe on Twitter, GameMat.eu, Puppets War, Death Ray Designs, Boulder and Chainsword, especially Brother Tyler. There have been so many people who have lended a helping hand and helped build this to what it is today, and it would not have been possible without their help. So I really have to thank them for helping get the exposure and the visibility that was required to jumpstart this initiative of mine. This is a dream for me. I am definitely living my dream here, and I want to make sure that I'm bringing you military content with insight and perspectives that really matter, that correlate, and bring a transferable skill set to your gameplay. So moving on to why this video is not live. So I'm an idiot, and I did not realize that you have to wait 24 hours before YouTube will give you permission to do live videos. So as I went to test this out today, I realized that going live was not going to be a possibility. But I'm not going to let that deter, and I'm definitely not going to wait 24 hours because I promised you that at 5 o'clock you would have the results, and so you shall. So I am now recording this video. It is going to be unedited and uninterrupted, so what you see is what you get. Once again, having to wait 24 hours. Thank you so much, YouTube. But the good news is we're able to do the raffle live in the video anyways. So I already have all 78 entries into the raffle here on a standard Google random number generator. And I am going to go ahead and do this and see what the results are. I wish you all the best of luck. At the end of the day, it looked like it came down to 1 in 39 odds. So that's pretty good. So let's find out who is going to end up being the winner. Best of luck to everyone. Number 30. I will correlate that to a name and contact who that actual winner is. You can see on the spreadsheet that was put out earlier today who that actually is. I don't actually have it up. But I will get in touch with you and get your address and have that mailed out to you ASAP. So going forward, I want to give some information about the website. You know, basically where the idea came from, where we're heading, where we've been, where we've come from, and also what we have on the horizon. Because I'm very excited about some of the new content and opportunities that I'm going to have on the website going forward that are going to be a breath of fresh air, but also staying true and staying in my lane to the military content. So how did I get the idea? Well, I recently separated from the military after completing my terms of service, and I wanted to do something military related with 40K. I enjoy watching the battle reports just as much as the rest of you, but one of the things I found it was sorely lacking was a military context or perspective on the actual gameplay. You didn't see a lot of analysis or explanation or background information on how you would do particular movements or positioning, fire lanes and line of sight. There was a lot of attention to the units and their performance and their characteristics, but I didn't see a lot of synergy in how units can bolster other units, how position relates to your ability to affect battlefield effects on a greater and more holistic scale. And due to that gap in information, I thought, well, I can make that. So I decided to create the website. I am astounded at the amount of viewership that I've received in just, like I said, these 6-7 short weeks. I didn't realize you guys would like the content as much as you do. It's a pleasant surprise. So going forward, I wanted to talk about the content that really brings what I have to offer to the table. So the thing I enjoy doing the most, as I'm sure you've seen, is I am a PowerPoint guru. I enjoy using it. I like the functionality of it. It enables me to conceptualize and visualize the concepts and tactics and information that I want to show you in an easily understandable format. It's an easy system and software to operate within. I can do a lot of things with it. At this point, like I said, I've released over 1,000 graphics for your use. And by having all of those templates, it allows me to build and create and produce more content more frequently and much easier, because I already have so much of it pre-built. It's a lot of copy and paste, or just adjusting or moving particular graphics around, or playing with the layers. I know you guys love the content, and that's what led to Top Secret Tactics and being able to visualize different scenarios. I like the aspect that it brings to the battle reports, which I want to definitely speak about. The photo battle reports have been very successful, a lot of positive comments, and you like the format. I've done a lot to streamline the ability to follow along, play by play, if you will, of the different interactions, phases, and units. And I am definitely looking to streamline it by reducing maybe some of the photo content, but also increasing the amount of graphical content that's added, so that I can elaborate more on the decision-making process and the how and why different movements, positions, and tactical considerations matter. So you can expect more of that in the future. If you're curious about if I'm going to dive into the video realm, I still don't feel that that's going to add a lot of benefit. To be quite honest, there are a lot of very good video battle report content producers out there on YouTube and Twitch and different media streams. And I don't want to compete in a market area or segment where I'm just recreating the wheel. The whole point of Overwhelming Odds is to bring you content that's unique and original and isn't a duplication of something else you can find. So by sticking with the photo battle report methodology going forward, it allows me to take the time and put in additional content and elaborate and visualize and conceptualize all the different aspects of the game that I think, those little nuances that can really enhance your gameplay and allow you to be a better battlefield commander in your battles. So for now, I'm going to stick to the photo battle reports and make sure that I'm giving you the best possible quality and quantity of information. And I may examine what I can do in the video realm, but for right now, the photo battle reports are definitely going to be the way I go forward. I don't see a lot of competition in that segment. I can elaborate and take my time to give you the best possible amount of information that I think will really benefit you when you go to play. You can view it at your leisure. They are lengthy. Some of the battle reports I've released can take you 2 hours to go through, even though they're just static photos and text and graphics. Another thing that I'm very, very surprised about is the artistic content articles. There's a lot of things I do that are unique or original, or sometimes I see ideas on Facebook or social media, and I'm like, I gotta try this for myself, or I think I can tweak this, like BASF, I think I can make it better. And in doing that, I thought, well, why not share it? Because information is worthless if you don't disseminate it and allow other people to have access to it. The response that I received from the artistic content was overwhelming. I did not expect when creating the site, nor was it my intention to do artistic content. I wanted to stay in my lane and make sure I was doing military perspective, military insight, military context and content. And I decided, just dip my foot in the waters and test them and see what the reaction was. And I was very pleasantly surprised. So going forward, you can expect a lot more artistic content. Some of them will be much more in-depth. A lot of what I've released have been little, what I would call quickie tutorials, or just, FYI for your information articles. But going forward, they're going to be much more involved and much more in-depth. And I think I will be diving into the video realm with that type of content, because sometimes it's just better to see it actually unfolding in a video than it is through a series of static photos or a photo log, if you will. So expect that part of my video content on my YouTube channel to expand. And I also want to speak about that in another context as well. I'm sure you've seen on my site that I have a couple sponsors now. So I definitely want to highlight Death Ray Designs. They were one of the first companies I reached out to because I find their terrain to be incredibly detailed, very unique, and the form and function goes along exactly with what I like to see on my battlefields. The function of them are versatile, modular, and I like the design elements. They have that grimdark feel, and I see a lot of potential with what can be done with them. As with any terrain, you don't always have to use it as is. There can be some modding to it, you know, how well you paint it, but also enhancements. I'm sure you've seen in some of my artistic contents, I mean, you can print out signs, labels, display screens, placards to really enhance your terrain. And it's simple and it doesn't take a lot of time. So by reaching out to them, they agreed to sponsorship. I will definitely be receiving some terrain from them shortly, and I'm going to be going through the full gamut of what happens when I receive some terrain. I'll do the initial receipt, the unboxing, I'll give my feedback, which is always going to be quantitative and qualitative, measurable, so you can take it and derive your own decisions and opinions on them. And then I'll go through the brainstorming process, like what do I see? What do I envision when I'm looking at this terrain? How am I going to build it? What do I expect to get out of it? What is its form and function, role and purpose? And I will go through and show you my mentality on what I'm going to do with it, what I think can be done with it, ulterior options, to give you the widest spectrum that you can get for just a singular piece of terrain. Additionally, Puppets War has graciously accepted a sponsorship opportunity as well, and I will be building a Grey Knights army exclusively from their catalog. And I'm very excited about this because there are certain elements of the Warhammer 40K catalog with the Grey Knights that I feel I don't associate with. Their aesthetics, their look is not what I'm looking for. I want something a little more grimdark, a little more mechanical, and definitely more Imperial Knight looking. And I think they're a little too busy with some of the scrolls and the back flags and stuff. It's not something I'm looking for, and I like the aesthetics of the Puppet War miniature line that correlates to that faction. So I'm going to show you what a completely not Games Workshop Imperial or Grey Knights army is going to look like. I'm very excited about this. Those are already on the way, and once again, just like the terrain, I'm going to go through the whole gamut with those and show you just what is possible, different techniques, different ideas, and then they will, for all intents and purposes, look like an exact Grey Knights army, both aesthetically and very cohesive within the grimdark atmosphere. So don't think I'm going to rip you out of the experience. I absolutely don't want that, neither do you. The last piece is, once again, the GameMat.eu sponsorship. I'm very excited about this. Obviously, I love my battle mats. I love game mats. They, in my mind, are essential because they really help immerse you into the experience and the battles. But what I'm really excited about is I asked them for permission to use their content digitally within my PowerPoint files and in my content on my site, and they agreed. So what this means for you is you're going to get to see all of the different mats actually used to scale with actual terrain, so you can get a look and a feel for the size and scale of where things are and how they interact. And I will be able, once again, once I receive the mats, be able to do actual battle reports on them as well. And I will be able to do that artistic and tactical consideration articles, looking at both aspects and judging, how you do certain placements for both an effect on the battlefield, but also so it pulls you in and it immerses you in your battlefield experience. Additionally, all this content will be available for you to use, so you can look at the different mats and get a feel for how different deployment zones are going to interact with them. And I'm very excited about that, because when you're making a purchase, and every purchase matters, money matters. So being able to experience and experiment and really get a feel through the visualization of the PowerPoint files of what you're getting before you buy, to me, is priceless. It allows you to say, okay, I have this type of army, I have this type of terrain, you can import that, and you're going to see, no kidding, see exactly what you're going to be working with once you receive it, if you decide to buy. And that kind of educated knowledge really assists and makes sure that you're leveraging your buying power to get exactly what you want, and you have expectation management. You know, when you get it, I'm going to be able to do exactly what I envisioned and make it real. And that's what I'm really passionate about. I want to make sure, because it's an expensive hobby. It is, and money only goes so far, but you want to get maximum value for it. So you might as well get and be confident in those purchases, the experience that you want to create on your battles and in your games. It's really just that simple. Going forward, the sky's the limit, to be quite honest. Once again, I decided to dip my toes into creating some content that is more of a forge the narrative aspect to it. And once again, not my idea. Thanks to one of my readers suggesting, hey, I would like to have a modern military breakdown and article on how you would approach the missions, not using 40K forces, but using modern day military forces, executing those same kind of mission sets. How would they go about it? What units would they use? What kind of considerations would they have? And that's what led to this recent series that's currently in works, which is a 10-part series, and we're up to part 4 already, of looking at, okay, here's what the mission set requires. This is what we're looking for. Here's our victory considerations. How would a modern military approach this? And I'm really excited because there's been a real reaction, and it's resonated with all of the community. The comments and the feedback that I'm getting back, the amount of views, people are really enjoying that content. Once again, that is not something that I originally envisioned for the site, but it's kind of evolved because of the feedback from viewers just like you. So please continue to give me those comments, continue to give me the feedback, and continue to give me the support that enables me to give you all of this type of content, because I'm really passionate about it. I want to make sure I'm bringing you something that's worth your time. Time is incredibly precious, and I don't want to waste it. And there's 3 million different things that you could be using your time for. And if you're going to choose to use that time on my site for my content, I'm going to make sure you get something out of it. So please continue the comments, continue the feedback. It is incredibly relevant. It has been a impetus for so much of the new content, from compare and contrast to the modern military focus on 40K, to the artistic content, to I've had requests for me to look into Necromunda. There's so much that have been developed or conceptualized and brought to life because of comments from readers. So please, I can't stress it enough, your comments matter, your opinion matters. I've had constructive feedback on my menu, which I took to heart and immediately implemented, so I hope that you find the new menu streamlined. The rate of articles that I'm producing every day, I know the menu is, once again, potentially getting a little cluttered. I'm looking at creating additional hierarchies and breaking those up to make it a little more easier to navigate. That is something that I'm already working on. But I wanted to talk about some of the highlights that have happened due to the tremendous amount of readership and support that I've received from all of you. So once again, I said I started this venture in 2019, December 19th. And since then, here are some of the highlights that have literally blown me away. There have been articles that have gone live, and within minutes, I've had somewhere in the vicinity of 2,000 to 3,000 views. That is phenomenal. That is breathtaking to build something and then see people want to participate, want to be involved. Some of the content that I've released has been well in excess of 2 gigabytes for a single article. That is crazy size. And I'm a data analyst by trade. I look at the cookies, I look at the data, and I'm looking at what people are clicking on and what they look at next, because I want to make sure I'm tailoring it and making the environment as user-friendly as possible, giving you more of the content you want, and not just speaking to you and producing content to produce content. And it's incredible. You guys definitely like to binge on my content, which I find very amusing. I'm the same way. I'm very fanatical about my hobbies. If I find something new, I want to know everything now. And it is incredible to know that hours are being spent looking at some of my content in one go. I want to thank you for incorporating me in your daily routines, as you've seen through one of my articles where I've shown you where the site surges are in views in the morning, at lunch, and after dinner. And also a big shout out and a huge thanks to all of my UK supporters. I've seen through the time zones and analysis that a lot of my viewership comes from them as well. Another staggering statistic that you're not aware of that I find very interesting is over 47% of my viewership is female. That is incredible to me. So I do take a very active stance on making sure when I'm writing my content, I shy away from using he, and he constantly. I try to stick to they and their to make it absolutely inclusive to everyone. The age distribution, once again, is incredible. 18 to 65 in 20% segments broken across, which is pretty equally broken out, which I find is phenomenal. So generationally, I'm reaching out and touching everyone with the content, and they're enjoying what they're seeing. More data, if you will. Not surprising, over 75% of the activity on my website comes from viewage on cell phones. So I am definitely looking at optimizing that. I do use my laptop as a primary medium for creating a lot of the content. So I have to make sure I go back and look, and I do take a very active role in going back and doing a quality assurance check on the content and the viewability on a cell phone. So if you find that there are certain aspects that don't translate well to a cell phone, because that's a majority of what you guys are using to view this, let me know. I may not be aware of it, or I may not have caught it. Let me know, and I can correct it almost immediately most times. And once again, sometimes I just I'm focused on creating the content or expanding the site. I may miss the little things, and there's definitely the devil in the details. So if you do come across something like that, drop me a comment and let me know. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will credit you for the idea for sure, and I will make those changes almost immediately if possible. I'm very excited going forward because the content is only going to expand. Right now, I am definitely producing somewhere in the vicinity of 2 to 3 articles a day. I'm up to well over 165 articles, which is incredible given the short amount of time that the site's been live. And with that, you can expect a surge in content because I've streamlined my processes. I have the ability now to push out content at a much faster rate because I've got a feel for it, to be quite honest. And I have general directions, and there's just so many aspects now that I can approach what I want to do and the information I want to convey. So you can expect more graphical content, more artistic content, more narrative content, more. The battle reports are definitely going to continue for now to stay at a weekly release rate of every Saturday, just because getting the games in can be hard sometimes. And then additionally, it is no small task to create those photo battle reports. It can take every bit of 4 or 5 hours, best case, between loading all the images, editing, making sure that it flows and it's logical and it conveys all the information. And then I have to go back and do reviews and edits and make sure that I'm inserting the graphical content, because I don't just want to be like, hey, check out my cool battle and my cool battle report. I want to make sure that there's actual content that matters, the graphical representations, the tactics, the tips, the explanations, and the thought processes explained, the decision-making cycles exposed. And that's where a lot of the time really comes into play, because I want to make sure that that photo battle report offers something you can't find anywhere else. Last but not least, I have to give a huge amount of thanks to my family. And the reason that I bring this up is because being in the military, family first, and and whether it's your hobbies or your passions or your business or whatever it might be, you always want to put your family first. And they are so supportive of what I do. I mean, there's a lot of times where I lock myself away and I'm working on content and whatnot, and I want to make sure that I'm really thanking them for the support and giving me the latitude and leverage to go out and do what I want to do and do things that I'm passionate about. So my wife Kim and my daughter Alexi, it is heartfelt thanks to you for supporting me and making sure that you gave me the space and the support that I need to do this venture. I could not do it without you. So with that, I'm going to close out, and I will definitely be producing some more content. As you can see, the battle is currently ongoing, and you can expect this photo battle report to be out and published later on tonight. Probably pretty late, 11, maybe even 12 o'clock tonight, Pacific time. But it's a very good battle. I'm very excited, and you can expect an extremely good photo battle report coming out of this, because there are just so many aspects that are going to be explained and analyzed and just graphically represented so that you can really see the context of what an assault army is capable of. Thank you very, very much for just tuning in and giving me a little bit of your time, and thank you for your continued readership, and I will definitely be seeing you around. Take care.